In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for any nickels that are older than 1960, including war nickels, buffaloes, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, heirs or varieties, or any other cool things we can find. This box has one ender. It's in roll number 3. It's just a 1955 nickel, so we'll get there when we get to that roll. And let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. No finds in the first couple rolls, so our first find is going to be roll number 3, which is the ender. It is this 1955, and it's minted in Denver. Next roll, and we have our first nickel from the 40s, and it is a 1946 out of Philly. Roll 5, and I saw this really nice reverse that looks a little older, and it's a Philadelphia mint. Flipped it over. That's a 1958 Philly in really good shape. 58 Phillies are kind of a harder date to get. I think they have about 18 million minted, and this one is pretty much uncirculated, so that's an awesome find. Roll number 6, and I just uncovered another great find. We have a 1964 proof right here. It's a proof because it has a shinier finish. It's harder to tell on camera, but it's not in too bad a shape. Also has that full steps, full strike. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it is for sure a proof. Found a few Philadelphia proofs lately. Glad to have another one. That's an awesome find. Roll 7, and we have another find. This one's our new oldest of the box. It is a 1940, minted in San Francisco. Roll number 9 actually had 3 more nickels from 1946, and then these first 2 are from Philly, and then this last one is from Denver. Pretty interesting. Roll number 11, another 40s nickel. This one is a 1949 out of Denver. Roll 13, and we have yet another nickel from the 40s. And this one is a 1947 Denver. Roll number 14. I'm in shock right now. Just grabbed the camera right when I saw it. That's my first ever V-nickel I found in a box. Before I started the channel, I got a collection dump in a bag, and I got 13 V-nickels. But this is my first ever V-nickel found in a box of nickels. Looks pretty beat up. No mint mark, so it's a Philadelphia like most of them are. Let's see the date. 1906. First ever V-nickel found out of a roll of nickels. 1906. Pretty worn, but still, V-nickels are almost impossible to find, and that is probably my best nickel find ever. Same roll as that V-nickel, which I'm still so shocked we found. We have a couple more finds. First is a pretty nice 1940 out of San Francisco. And then we have a 1954. That's also out of San Francisco. Still so excited about that V-nickel though. Roll 17. Just got the first 30s nickel of the box. It's a 1939 and it's out of Philly, so it's a common year, but it's not another bucket lister find. It's not the DDR. Roll 21, and we have yet another nickel from 1946, and this one's another Philly. Roll 23, had a couple more 50s nickels. First, a 1954 out of Denver, and then we have a 1958, that's also from Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and we have another 40s nickel. This one is a 1942 non-silver nickel out of Philly. Just opened roll 28, and in the back of the roll, out popped a Canadian nickel. First foreign of the box, and it's a 1996, and while I have you here, I saw the date of an older one right here. It's a 1951, a year I don't see too much, and that's a San Francisco. 1951S is a semi-key date, so yeah, that's a great find. Next roll 29, and we have another nickel from the 50s, and it's our first 1959 nickel of the hunt. And it's out of Denver. Roll 33, and we have a couple more older Jeffersons. First, we have another 1946 out of Philly. Then we have a 1957 Denver. Roll 35, another nickel from the 40s. And this one is a 1940 from Philly. Roll 37, and we have another nickel from 1942. And just like the other one, this one's non-silver and out of Philly. Roll 39, a couple more finds. First we have another 1959 out of Denver, and then we have the first 2009 nickel out of the box. Just grabbed roll 41 out of the box, and right behind it, I noticed that we got a free nickel just in the box. I think this has happened once before, and I think it was in another nickel box, which is pretty interesting. And this nickel is just a 2015 Denver. Glad we got a free 5 cents out of this box. Roll 43, and it's pretty gross, but it is a 1957 out of Denver. Just opened row 46, and I see that we're going to have our second 4 of the box. It's another Canadian nickel, a few coins in, and it is a 1985. Same roll as that Canadian, had one more find, and it's from the 50s, and it is a 1958 Denver. Just opened roll 48, and I actually see 2 foreigns in the roll. Both look like they're going to be Canadian nickels. Here's the first one, and it is a 1998. Then the other one is right here, and this one is a 1997. Now we have 4 foreigns total. Just open the next roll, row 49, and there's some odd edges, but the one I'm looking at is this super thin one right here. What is that going to be? It's not even a coin. It's a washer in a roll of nickels. How in the world did that get in there? Well, probably lost 5 cents on that one. Same roll as that washer, and we have a 50s find, and this one is a 1957 from Philly. Just opened the last roll of the box, and this box has honestly been a great box with an awesome variety of finds, and it's going to end that way too. Second coin in, one way from being an ender. We have another cool foreign coin. This is a Panamanian nickel from 2001. I've only gotten one nickel from Panama ever before. And yeah, it had the same design on it with Sarah Sotillo, I believe, on the front. And I think the other one was like a 2008 or something. But yeah, second ever Panamanian nickel found. This box has been awesome. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 11 S-mints, 5 foreigns, 4 of them were Canadian from 1985, 96, 97, and 98. And the other foreign was in the last roll, that 2001 Panamanian nickel, my second ever one from that country. We also got one 2009, and then early on we got this 1964 proof, which I'm not going to touch too much. It's honestly in really nice shape for being how old it is. Definitely not been in circulation for too long. And then we also, near the end, got the washer in the roll. The first washer I've ever gotten in a roll. Super weird how that got in there, but still, it's an interesting find. And then older Jeffersons we did really well on. We got quite a few. The best ones were this 1951S, semi-key date, and that absolutely beautiful 1958 Philly that's also kind of a hard to find date. And then, of course, the find of the box. My first ever one out of a roll. My first V-nickel from 1906. It's pretty worn, got some scratches on the back. Not much detail, but still, any V-nickel is a super rare find. And overall, this was a great nickel hunt with a lot of variety of finds.